Hello, everybody. And yes, it is the aliens that have done it. Everybody, this is why we buy modules and adventures that we don't ever use. The aliens. That's what I'm here to
What
tell
kind
you.
of what kind of gummies do you think he eats?
This guy,
Yeah, that guy.
the good shit, man.
I was gonna say because just looking at him, he should be like a sativa representative.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah. Although we're the eyes right there, that's some indica going on right there.
Yeah, I was
Those
gonna say
eyes,
maybe an indica.
those are
He's
indica
pretty
eyes.
wound up when he talks.
Oh yeah, I've been into guys many a time like that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Hey, welcome everybody to the discussion of weed and all things edible and cannabis, and demonetized.
Well, boom. I
Oh
think
God,
YouTube's out of California, isn't it? They can enjoy that.
yeah, that's true. That's true. They've been legal out there before anybody else, So Jesus
They
Christ.
were legal when they were illegal. Illegal.
Yeah, yeah,
I
true.
remember they went out into the street and did this. This was when they still needed the medical card out
Hmm.
there, and they were talking about what condition do you have that you need a medical marijuana card. And the one lady goes, "I'm a mother."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. One of the best commercials I've ever seen. They were so freaking true to life. And this is when my family and brother got a lot of kids, this and that, and they both work and everything. And I saw that it was a Campbell soup commercial, right? And it was a snow day. I believe it almost positive it was Campbell soup, and it was a snow day. And the forecast was going in the background that we're gonna have and blah blah blah. And there's this Harry woman with three little kids walking through the supermarket, whatever, picking up Campbell soup for the big snowstorm. And the way it ended was absolutely perfect for all mothers to relate to. Because just as the guy says something to the fact that we're going to get a shit ton of like 98 feet of snow, she's passing the wine in this store. She reaches out without even looking, grabs the bottle, drops it in the cart. She's like, I'm ready now.
Yeah,
And that was a Campbell soup commercial, not even a wine
that
commercial.
was a Campbell soup commercial.
Yeah,
That is
yeah.
funny.
That was
I don't think I
perfect.
saw that one.
That's some Don Draper level shit there. You know what I mean? That's some good stuff for Mad Men.
Yeah.
Oh God.
What is a car?
Car heater, I think that means
Oh, run a car heater during
car
the
heater
live.
during the live cast. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's what it is. Car heater. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't
Yeah, we
know.
all got to take a pee. And I have chicken in the oven, boys and girls. And in 26 minutes and 32 seconds, I'll be jumping out because the benefit is sometimes working from home is you get to do a little thing like throw something in the oven. But you think I freaking remember? No, no. So now
No,
I'm cooking chicken for lunch for the week and throw it in the oven. So
uh,
I'll be ducking out in about
doing
25
the
minutes.
bachelor cook, so you have
That's
something
it.
for.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I load up. I load up. That way I don't have to cook the rest of the week. I'll put like 6 good chicken breasts in there, and I'm good to go for the week.
there you go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
Ivy cooked me up a tuna steak, so
nice, dude. Nice.
I haven't had. I don't. It was okay. It was weird, but we got to just learn how to cook
Why
it
was
as
there
we
nut
go.
cheese in there or something? Why was it
No
weird?
nut cheese this time.
No
No,
nut cheese. No,
no,
is that just nut
no,
cheese glaze or no?
no nut cheese. Please, no. I can't even think of other cooking
Oh,
terms for it. But I mean, you just say nut cheese, and I think that's enough.
that's it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, catheter. Mike is saying catheter. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Ah,
So run it
there we
right
go.
down.
Well, Joe kind of needs that. Yeah.
Yeah,
They have those ones for like marathon runners.
they do. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. A lot of
Yeah.
them just piss themselves. I think. Some guys
Yeah,
at
they do.
concerts they
And
just
shit
piss
themselves.
themselves. Yeah,
Yeah.
Tim and Joe's
Mike and
cooking.
Joe cooking show.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The Tim and Joe cooking show. Yeah, that's perfect. That's what. Yeah, we're cooking and with edibles and yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
infused food. God,
All
God.
right.
So
What's your cool thing, Joe?
cool thing of the week. Remember, eventually I got this 5-year plan to make my own RPG, setting everything all inclusive. So I've been
I, but I
druid
say cool
spells.
though. I say cool thing, not
Cool thing. Yeah, it's a cool thing. It's
not
grown. It's
your
grown.
2E abomination that you're making.
No, 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 not yeah, yeah. So it's my own thing, right? Everything is it's a combo. I would if I had to combine it, I would say it's a 2E 5E crossover, right? Take the best of some of each of it, right? So
Okay.
yeah, it's
The
gonna be
best
big.
of it. They
It's
must
gonna
be
be big.
very little.
Well, I'm running it with my brother's group, right? And
Okay.
so as we go, they're my guinea pigs. I know you guys won't do it because you guys don't fucking read a thing I give you. You know,
Oh bullshit!
you do. You do.
Yes,
I'll
I
give you
do.
that. You do. The other motherfuckers, they don't read shit. They just bitch about how long it is. So,
Get better
hey,
players.
Yeah. Well, my brother's group, they're at my first because if they want to play, they're going to be playing this system, right? So they're playing this guinea pig system, and my brother's like, "Oh, I'll make a druid." I'm like, "Well, fuck, now I got to make druid spells." So I've
I know, and you're making like 3,000 druid spells.
115. I got them all. I got the names. What I did was I went through all the
God, that's a
books, those wizard spell compendium, priest spell compendium.
right. Yeah,
When I came up with the things that what I'm doing is I'm not copying the spells. I'm looking at
I know. You're rewriting them all.
rewrite them all. And so I have
You're
215
nuts.
spells. I wrote the name and I wrote a brief note about what they do. And then I let it sit for a few weeks. I put that all in Excel. And then I
Right.
sorted by level the other day.
Mhm.
Right. So now I know what I got. And of course, the lower levels have the spells. So he's a 5th level druid. So 1st through 3rd level spells is what he could do. And that happens to be 115 spells. So
Oh God.
Sunday, I spent 7 hours writing up spell descriptions for 115 spells, and I'm done. And they're good. I'm quite proud of them. So that's half the battle. I mean, I'm more than halfway done. So another 7 hours, and I got the complete druid spell list going. Then I'm just going to move along to wizard and warlock and sorcerer and all the other shit, priest and specialty priests and all that
You're
stuff.
gonna end up with like 2,000 spells.
Oh, it's going to be big. Yeah, this is going to be huge. This is not a typical OSR 5-page goddamn rule set. You know what I mean? This is not a minimalist rule set.
Maybe when you get done with them, it's like I'll get me a PDF of them so that way I can drop them as treasure sometimes.
Yeah. No, that's cool. That's cool. So
I have that. You remember I gave you those PDFs I gave you the books for the mage thing, right? Well, I have this one here, Joe. This I don't know. This is the 3.5 spell compendium and everything like that. But I looked through it and this kind of dovetails into our night's topic. There's very few spells out of here I would actually use.
Yeah. All the 3.5 shit, all the 3.0 and 3, especially 3.5. Every spell was a cool name. They would think gave a great concept, and all it did was a plus something to something. That's all these freaking spells were. You know what I mean?
That's right. Yeah, it just seemed like
creativity.
+1 to this, +2. Yeah, it just seemed like they just named a buff a different name.
Yep. No, like that's all it was. That's all it was.
3,000 house rules. You're not wrong, Flint.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm doing the own system because everybody's bitching so much. Why don't you make your own game? I'm like, all right, motherfucker, I will. So, that's the cool thing of the week.
Prima facie. Yes, I'm a module holic. It's been 3 days since my last breath. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I do the same stupid thing.
Yep. All right. What's your cool thing, Tim? Then we'll drop into the everybody. This is apparently
what was your cool thing? Your 3,000 spells?
115 spells in 7 hours, man. That's cool. That's badass, and they're all good too.
All right.
I mean, damn good, I must say, in my humble opinion. My unbiased humble opinion, they're fucking good. But yeah, how about you?
I have, this is my thing I bought like probably 3 days ago that I got,
Here we go. We got
all right. Now this one I got from Amazon, and it's the Game Master's Book of Astonishing Random Tables. So it's one of those things. There's 5e ones. They have a different series. They have the villains one, and I didn't like any of the other ones. They're very 5e-ish. This one, however, I did like. I went through the table. What I usually end up doing is I go to Barnes and Nobles.
Yep.
And I look at the books, and then I buy them for half the price on Amazon.
Yeah. No, that's smart.
But of course, Joe, you'll like this. All right, see if you can hear it, or see if anybody.
Oh man, it's fucking torn off the paper, huh?
The fucking
coming off the inside.
Broke.
Oh, the spine.
Well, no, not quite broke, but the spine's broke on the inside. Yeah.
Oh man.
Maybe you can.
I love it. I dropped the video.
I know you love it. Yeah. I mean, the funny thing is the corners are pristine.
Yeah, but the inside.
Pristine corners, but they freaking broke my goddamn binding and stuff.
Flint did a review. He says.
Did you do a review? Yeah, good book. Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good one. And then the nice thing about it, and I didn't get to read these yet. I haven't read a lot of it, but I was actually got it out yesterday, and I was just using it and kind of filling out some things. But it actually has some one-shots. I think, what does it say on the cover there? 3 one-shot adventures in the back. So I haven't looked at those ones yet.
Nice. A little bonus. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I didn't expect I don't remember when I was looking through it, seeing the one-shots, but it's got one-shot adventures, a tree of trio of story-driven encounters that still features enough random tables to merit inclusion in this book. There's 232 Never Tell Me the Odds. The party investigates murder among killers. And then the next one is Animated Defense. A mage's tower protects itself a little too well. And then the last one is Things Are Not What They Seem. A sinister plot is uncovered by accident. So
All right.
like I have to read through those. But yeah, I mean this one, if you're not a fan of the other books, which they just wouldn't add much to my game, that I was looking for. But this one, I would say that I would give this one a thumbs up on the tables, and it's definitely worth having because I love books with lots of random tables in it.
Yeah.
I'm a bit
you're big into that.
Love that. And the funny thing is I hated that kind of shit before.
Really?
I didn't like it. I didn't use random tables.
See, I think random tables, I never liked them either. I thought they were kind of stupid. And somewhere in the middle of the OSR, I had this realization, this thing that hit me. That I was like, you know what? Random tables are the way that the only and the best way, perhaps, other than, box text, that the author of the module imprints his style and flavor on it, because your random tables are going to give things that come out of your brain. And so when it, you're walking through the woods and, a random encounter pops up, there's 10 things on that table. Those come from the sick ass mind of Tim and his Cold War Forest shit. You know what I mean? And you could tell that. So, you see that stuff in it. It's not going to be a skeleton, a zombie, a wolf, a goblin. It's going to be something fucking weird. You know what I mean? And so when you're doing random tables, that gives a sense of flavor and style that you can put in there in a more indirect way. So that's all right. I kind of dig random tables. That's a good way to actually throw it out there.
And I actually I got the idea of like the rolling the two, like rolling twice on maybe two different tables and then see what they kind of combine together to add a unique element is actually from a science fiction writer, Harlan Ellison. He's like my favorite, one of my favorite authors But he would always say, like, the way he gets a lot of his ideas is one, he mishears something.
All right.
he mishears what somebody said and kind of generates, or he takes two things unrelated and puts them together, and that helps him create. And that's when I started doing that with random tables. That's when I really found the magic of random tables.
Okay.
Is when I was doing it on two different ones and then combining them. So, instead of, like having an ordinary random table encounter. And I think they've become more sophisticated. I think you're not just going to run into a wandering monster table from probably some of the adventures we're going to talk about tonight. Where it's going to, on a 1, you get 1d6 orcs, on a 2, you get 1d6 goblins, You're not going to find that. A lot of adventure writers these days are getting a little bit more sophisticated with their tables to make it reflect the adventure. And it's not just a resource drain or a time sink. It also maybe connects to
the actual adventure.
Gives a clue,
gives a hint, gives
some background. Like that. I think the good ones do that. I mean, you still get the folks who just do that. And, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's gonna be. I'm one who will write in my modules and in my books. I don't give a shit. I think because how cool is it, like, when you find an old module and somebody else's personal notes are in it?
Love that.
Isn't that just like the best?
Yeah, some people hate that stuff. Like book collectors hate a stray mark. I have a million books, but I don't consider myself a book collector. I just want to have a library. You know what I'm saying? So I don't care that it's the first edition, untouched, never read, the spine's never been bent. I don't give a fuck. Give me a usable book, that I could, share around or whatever. And so I don't mind those things. And if ever I buy a book at a used bookstore and I take it home, and there's a random bookmark or a penny, or a couple of times I found like family photos of, that somebody just threw in as a bookmark. Yeah, it's kind of weird, man, because you see these from the 70s or 80s or whatever, and the whole look and style, like, Jesus Christ, somebody stuck it in here as a quick bookmark, forgot they did it. Next thing you know, bam. You know, here it's in my hands for some random reason. You know, that's kind of neat though. I like that. I
Yeah.
like that.
So
Yeah.
I would like, so if you put in your own random table and just do kind of like a simplified one, I
Mhm.
will kind of start writing shit in there.
Yeah, yeah.
You
Oh,
know,
that's cool. That's cool. And that's
yeah.
a good segue to what we actually are supposed to be talking about tonight. As
What we're
usual, we're
supposed to be
jumping into it.
talking about.
About 20 minutes in, we hit our main topic of the evening, which
Yep.
is basically why do we buy shit that we don't use? You know, and I put
Or
it,
as Flint said, I buy two things that I don't use.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah,
twice, yeah,
yep,
yeah,
yep,
yeah,
twice, yep, yep.
yep. So I mean, why?
And if Thaddeus, I forgot his name and everything. I
Yeah.
did mail out his thing today.
Oh, good, good.
The prize. I was going to do it early, early last week, but time caught up with me, and I just didn't
Yeah,
get. But I got it out today, so
yeah.
it should
Life
be there in a
happens.
couple days. Yeah,
Life happens. Yeah, that's cool, man. So Thaddeus will get it coming soon. Then that's pretty
yep,
neat. But
yep.
why do we buy it? I mean, you buy two things. Sometimes I buy. I gotta admit, dude, I don't read. I bought so many zines, right? And this is gonna. I know it's gonna be heresy to you. I've never read one of them. Not one.
You never read one of them?
I buy a zine to support the person who's making the zine because either I think they're
Oh,
cool or you guys have told me they're cool, and
that
I
hurts my
figured
heart.
I'm gonna throw
Oh,
out 10 or 15 bucks to support this dude because these, as somebody I trust or I know them or whatever, and I'm like, I'm gonna support their gig, right? So
oh
never
man,
read one fucking zine, you know.
why?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, they're so it's not what I go to for
Do you hate
modules.
life?
No, I don't go to zine because what I'll buy a module for
Mhm.
is so I could get the gist of whatever the hell is going on, pick it apart and
Right.
scavenge for resources, right?
Well, how do you
And
know you couldn't find that in a zine?
I guess I don't, but generally speaking, I just never look in them for anything like that. I
So
figured they're
you
so
bought all my
small.
zines and you didn't read one of them.
No, no, I don't think I ever did, dude. I skim them. I skim them all. I skim every
Uh-huh.
fucking zine I get. I look at it. Oh, this is
Right.
nicely done. Good layout, whatever. The good pictures and blah, blah, blah. And I'll put it down and I'll stick it in my fucking zine thing that I got up there. I'm not pointing to it as if y'all could see that zine
Right.
thing over there. And I just they sit there. And now
I'm
they're over.
gonna next time I come over there, I'm gonna kidnap all your zines and take them to a world where they're read and loved.
Give them like a puppy who's been neglected. Take him to a
Yeah,
happy house.
you're just like this head nun of an orphanage. You taking these orphans in, and then you don't do anything. You just put them in their rooms.
Yeah,
You don't
yeah.
feed them. You don't give them water. They just kind
Mm-hmm.
of languish in
Yep.
this horrible orphan run by Joe.
I can't disagree. They're sitting here
Oh
abused and
man,
neglected, dude. And I mean, it goes to why I guess. Well, what about you? You obviously you read zines, but why do you what don't you read? You know what do you get? What do you read? Everything you get? Do you just buy shit? Don't read
no.
them. Don't use them.
I try to. So not everything gets read thoroughly.
Mm-hmm.
No, I just I don't do that, and shame on me for that But wait, I gotta see what some of these. It's like a kid on Christmas morning opening presents. Each one
Yeah,
is a thrill. Yeah, I guess it's that dopamine hit. Yeah, like you said, dopamine rush. Yeah, you just kind of
yeah.
get that, and then it's like, now I want to go play Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, never bought a zine, but I guess it's just I don't know what to expect to find in it.
Well,
Any
you're
good one,
talking to
I
the
should
right
read.
guy here, buddy.
Oh yeah,
Breach, I assume you're
I'm
a
all
buddy.
breach. There's just so many. That's a whole show in itself.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
There is a good
why?
zine called Gothridge Manor out there. I heard out in the wild.
No, it's
Uh,
just called the Manor.
the Manor. Oh, the Manor. That's what you
Yeah,
put out.
yeah,
Okay. All right.
yeah.
Yeah, the Manor zine. 1 through what? 8, 9? What do you got?
I have 9. Yeah, I have
9?
9
Okay.
right now. Yeah, I never got to 10. I always wanted to get to 10 and then do a whole hardback and combine. Kind of
Oh, that'd be cool,
get them
man.
re-edited and everything. Kind of like what Tom Wilson did. He did that with
Yeah,
his
yeah, yeah, yeah.
BX. What is it? His was BX.
I got it up on the shelf there. I didn't look
Yeah,
at it,
you're
so I wouldn't
neglected.
know.
So. Oh man.
Yeah, yeah, that's
But okay, why I like zines is because you get a very personal point of view of what it's like to be behind someone's screen.
screen.
Yeah, their dungeon master screen.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
One,
yeah.
so
Okay.
like if you wrote a zine,
Yep.
it's almost like me sitting right behind you, Joe, and
Uh-huh.
looking what gets you excited and what how you want to run again because zines are just such a I should say most zines are a personal look because they're
Yeah.
not writing for anybody else except for themselves, basically.
But that's not how you actually write up and prep something for an adventure, right? If you're gonna run something with Snickle or whoever, or a
Hmm.
big group of us, whatever the case may be, you're not
Hmm.
gonna write up something that looks. I mean, forgetting about the layout and format and all that shit, you're
Right.
not gonna have the same amount of content on a Microsoft Word document, right? You're gonna take notes here, jot something down there, arrows, whatever the
Are
hell,
you
you know what I
talking
mean?
about for me as a reader type
No,
thing?
you as a DM, like what you're saying here is that what reading a zine gives you a glimpse of behind the scenes for that
Yeah.
DM. But
Right.
what is written in the zine is not what you would have written were you DMing something. You would have a much briefer, probably synopsis,
Oh,
jotting down
right.
here, there, right?
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, if you're a good writer, you can portray what it is like somewhat,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
try to, and a lot of, and even if you just kind of get the ideas across,
Uh-huh.
because I'm thinking we've spoken about this. You go there for the ideas,
Yeah, I do.
you
That's it. Yeah.
usually we don't run them outright, but with zines, there's a lot of ideas. I guess I get more ideas from zines than I do from like the fifth edition stuff or
Interesting.
the mass produced thing because it's more personal. Like somebody
Yeah.
might have a way that they like what's his name? Mark Finn did I think it was called Gobsmacked or Goblin
Hmm.
Smacked or something like that.
Hmm.
And so it was his take on goblins, and it was so great. It was a lot of fun to read,
Yeah.
and it was a nice take. And then his view of goblins is almost very similar to the way I like to run them. So it was very easy for me to take some of his
Hmm.
ideas and implement them.
Hmm.
Wait, did I run it as is or no? But God, the inspiration and just the read was worth it.
I guess here, I guess what you're trying to say is you're going to get a sense of the voice of the DM, right, from the zine, and I don't ever take anybody's voice because I don't run one shots or just modules or something like this is a 5-part series because I bought the book and it should take about 5 sessions to complete. Everything I do is in a setting. Everything I do is in my
Yeah,
world, in my head, right, and so I don't care what his voice is necessarily at all.
right. Well,
All I
you're
want to
you're
do is resources,
right. Your campaign world though is much more structured than mine. I mean,
Yeah, it is. It is.
you have your Lego set, and
Mhm.
you don't you're. I'm going to compare our campaigns compared to Lego sets.
Uh-huh.
Your Lego set is the kind that comes in as the Millennium Falcon. It's set.
Yes.
It has
Yeah,
its
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Mine is the old style where it's just a bunch of blocks and you build your own shit.
Your entire
Because
world is like that.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
that's
I like to have the input of you guys. I like to have like the input of my players to
mhm.
to build upon,
Yep.
and so I do have those. Not everything is maybe completely filled out,
Yeah.
but one of you guys might take up the task of I want to do this, and then all right,
Next thing you know,
let's
you're
make some
drawing a
room for
map of
this.
Scorn. Yeah,
And you
that's
and
what
you,
happened
you
with
got a
Snickle.
and you got a mini zine in your pocket
Yeah.
from
Yeah, yeah.
all
Yeah.
about it, and it helps me develop it and make it in develop it in different ways.
Mhm.
Breach was saying that they thought they were mostly one shot, one page. It depends, Breach. There's a lot of those out there, but there's quite a few. I mean, there's entire systems. Like there'll be a lot
Yeah.
of zines that are solo um, systems.
Mhm.
Usually that involves a coin, some cards. They
Mhm.
kind of jive together, but there's so many, and so you could just go on to. I used to run this site. I don't know if I announced it here, but I used to run the zine. What was it called?
The
RPG zine
RPG zines.
group
Yeah.
on Facebook, and I
Yep.
kind of stepped down from that. Let somebody who had more time to do it justice because
Yeah.
it's almost 5,000. But if you ever go in there, you can just if you put out like this is what I'm looking for, a zine. I guarantee you're going to get 20 to 100 responses.
Yeah.
Telling hey, I got this zine. Hey, I got that zine.
Yeah.
So it's a good place to go and Flint is apparently reading a zine.
Writing a zine and writing.
I'm feeling zine, reading a zine while I
Yeah.
watch. I have a zine.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a zine in the works. I'll
Yeah.
send it to
Yeah.
Joe
Yeah.
so he won't read it. There you
Yeah.
go.
Basically,
Yeah,
appreciate that. I'll give it a review.
absolutely.
But I won't
He'll
read it.
give it a thoroughly researched review. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I'll do is I will go through a module, right?
Okay.
Let's say
So I'm
say
sure. Let's see,
mhm.
Joe. Let's pick out something.
Grab a 5e module and I'll tell you what I
Yeah,
stole
that's what
from
I
you.
was gonna do. Let's do a good one though, not one of their shitty ones, because we know
The
what
older
people
ones
do.
I used, I didn't give a fuck about the
I'm
later
sure
ones. They
this is
sucked.
one you liked because this one kind of reflects Tales from the Yawning Portal.
Yes, I liked what I liked about that. I've always had a boner for the yawning portal concept. I loved that when I first was a kid, and I got the Forgotten Realms and the yawning portal is a big bar with a hole in the ground, and
Right.
down go adventurers, and they come out with loot. I just love the fact that you have a beer, you head down into go down a pulley, and you start killing shit and taking her stuff, and then you come up and have a beer. It's like the
Right.
greatest thing in the world, right?
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
like a
it's like
bunch of rednecks go get drunk,
yeah,
get a bunch of shotguns and
yep,
go down a hole and just go
yep,
"Wah," and
yep,
start
yep.
shooting. And some come
It was
back up and some don't.
exactly. So let me grab that book and I'll tell you what I use for it. I'll be right back. All right.
Oh yeah, take your time. What do they got in here? They have the Sunless Citadel, the Forge of Fury, the Hidden Shrine of Tomoka Chan. I don't know how to pronounce it. White Plum Mountain. Now I've never read Dead in Thay. Against the Giants, Tomb of Horrors, and that's a real reason why I bought this one. And then it has some magic items in there and creatures. And then the maps. Did anybody ever use this one for anything out there for like or read it or use it in game? I know Flint, you run the 5e stuff, so I don't know if you've ever used it for anything.
All right, I have it in hand. So let's see.
So
Tales from the Yawning Portal.
not yet.
So,
Okay.
was that?
I just asked Flint if he had run anything off of it yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So what you have in this is a bunch of older adventures, right, from various editions.
Yep.
The Sunless Citadel, liked it, used it, dropped it into a campaign. Good map, changed around everything about it and why they were there, and all that kind of thing. But it was
Sure.
it was not bad,
Yeah, but what did you use? Like did you use any of the content or just the map?
Oh yeah, no, I used the map and I used the people in there. I just changed their purpose, and that modified some of
Gotcha.
the people and all that sort of thing. But I
Sure.
changed the why and why it was there. I never
Mhm.
liked Hidden Shrine to Timok Cohen or whatever the hell you say. Didn't give a shit. Nor did I
You know
ever
what?
like
I
Green
never liked
Mountain.
that one either. Even though that's
Yeah,
what I think that's what C1 or something like that or
yeah.
C2 or
It was one of the C's.
but it
Yeah.
was that was not one of my favorites. I remember not what actually I think it
Mhm.
was the second thing I ever bought for D&D.
Really?
Was yeah,
Okay.
that was because back then they like I said they had a shortage of
Yeah. You get what you
the
can.
rules things,
Yep.
and the first one I bought was Tomb of Horrors, and
Yeah.
I almost for sure bought C1 as my second
All right.
purchase and everything.
Okay.
So
So let's see. Oh, the Forge of Fury. I liked it. If this is the thing I'm thinking of, here's the reason. Because I think when we all got 5e, it came with that Phandalin adventure and all that. Remember? And
yeah,
so I thought
Mhm.
that was a decent adventure. But what I thought sucked ass was the dwarven mine, and so I
Oh,
didn't use
okay.
it. So I just used this map as the dwarven mine, right? So because I was running it in low level, I'm like, oh, this is cool. I'll just because that map's terrible, I'll use this because this is an actual looking dwarven looking mine. It made sense. I
So you just use the map from it then?
I did the map, yeah, and
Yeah. Okay.
I think and I yeah, pretty much I just did the map and repopulated it with things that made
Okay.
sense,
Fair
right?
enough. Yeah.
And then I used let's see what else we got here. Dead and Thay, don't give a shit.
I
Against the
never read that
Giants,
one. I don't have that one.
it's a third edition, I think, or something. I'm not sure, but it was
Yeah.
terrible. And so against the Giants, I mean that's a classic, right? And if you're
Right.
going to drop stat blocks in there for against the Giants, I used that damn near as written because I just wanted a giant adventure here, and I
Oh, I didn't
dropped the hill
realize they had
giants
all three.
there.
They had all three
They do,
giant
they
adventures in
do.
there. I didn't realize that.
Not only that,
Okay.
Tim, if you buy the module on Roll20,
hmm
it's all pre-populated maps with fog of war, with dynamic lighting, with the
Oh
stats of
wow.
all the monsters. Everything is pre-filled out for you, and you just have the players run through it. It's fucking fantastic. So that was easy DMing. Not a fan of Tomb of Horrors, strangely enough, so I just didn't use it. So, but I did, like I said, stole
You don't like Tomb of Horrors because it's too brutal for you.
I just never played it either. I didn't even know about it till the OSR was about. It was not a thing I
I
ever saw on
would.
the shelf, you
Oh
know.
god. Yeah, Tomb of Horrors
So
is. I get. It was funny because Daniel Bishop did a Bandits Keep did
uh-huh.
a video about using Tomb of Horrors as a teaching module for beginning players.
Oh Jesus! To teach him
And
never to play D&D again.
he was no, but I mean, I think the way he discussed it and how he would do it. I'm like, yeah, that makes complete sense. Even
Yeah.
though it's known as like some wussy people out there just think it's uh, the worst module ever.
Mm.
And I know I'm talking to a beta boy at that point. So, or what
Yeah.
did you call
Yeah.
him, a soy boy?
Soy boy.
Anyway,
Yeah, that's the
yeah.
food.
But
Hey, speaking of actual meat, though, I have to go get the chicken out. I will be right back,
we'll
boys and
go
girls.
get the chicken out. Let me
Yeah,
see
yeah.
what
And
we
I
got
smell
here.
it pretty good, and all right, I'll be right back.
Okay,
Continue
Joe.
on.
Go do your chicken thing. So when I got back in D&D 5 years ago, Son of the Citadel was the first module I ran with the boys. We had a good time, to be honest. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, let me see what I got up here. It's funny, guys. Like a few years ago, we have this one. We have there they are, a gaming shop, and once in a while they have used games and everything. And I was able to get a whole bunch of these. I think they're 2E modules. You know, like the Standing Stone. Can't see it with the glare. I put them in protectors so they don't get shelf worn and all that. There's the Forge of Fury, Deep Horizon. I was just wondering if Speaker in Dreams. There's the Sunless Citadel. I thought I had it there. And then I have Bastion of Broken Souls and Lord of the Iron Fortress. But those are high level modules. I didn't see how they're like 15th level and 18th level characters. Holy shit. Yeah. What is okay? Hey, Grimoire, how you doing? Wait, Joe's going to choke it. I see, Flint. I tried to stay away from that, and you brought it back up. See, I was trying to be good, and now I know why we had you on as our first guest there, Flint. Huh? Too funny. So, what adventures have you guys bought that you want to run but you haven't run yet? It's been like on your shelf and you just haven't quite got there yet. I think some of mine were, I mean, the 5E ones, I always try to, I would like to run of them because even like you have like the Goodman Games ones with like the Into the Borderlands and Isle of Dread. Uh, in the Lost City, that's a great one too. But I'm trying to think which ones. Ravenloft. There's a bunch of Ravenloft ones I have that I would really love to run, but I just never have.
Yes, Trent. Flint, I choked the chicken.
Yeah, see, I told him I was trying to stay away. I stayed away from that on purpose. I didn't say anything about Joe choking his chicken, and then that's why they don't let us. That's why they don't let us into conventions anymore. Us old
Yeah.
guys, they think we're bad people.
Yeah, we're going to contaminate the youth with rough D&D or something. You know what I mean? God forbid somebody might get hit or something. Yeah, that's us.
Right. Yeah. But so I was just I pulled out a bunch of 2E modules that I got.
All right. Okay.
Just I bought them in the used section at one of the gaming stores, and I have them and I've read them. Like the one that's on the Citadel, and I've always heard good things about them, but I've never used anything from it or used it as an adventure. Like when Rob runs his campaign, he sprinkles in some Rob adventures and but also, as you know, quite a few like pre-made.
I was pretty impressed. I was surprised. I got to say it that I didn't realize Rob did that because he's so creative with his world. Everything is like, made it on his own. We use city state this and that, but he made it his own, right? But then he drops in this Pharaoh. You know what I mean? The adventure or whatever. It's like, wow, you're really running a
the Pharaoh series. Yeah, I mean he does. He's not much of like a fast adventure writer.
Yeah, I'm noticing that.
He's got his certain adventures that he likes, that he does, and he'll play test the hell out of them and everything through with different groups and everything. But he does rely on a lot of adventure modules, but he makes them his own. You know, he
Yeah.
fits it, fits them in his world, and does a pretty good job with it, and integrates it. Just, and that's what I think I need to do more. But I write so many adventures for myself, and sometimes, and I finally started using them.
Yeah.
You
No, that's
know,
good. That's good that you're doing it. But everything I write is so specific to what I'm. It's too weird to be put out into the wild because it's something for my specific niche of what I need then. You know what I mean? That's really it. That's all I'm trying to do is
right,
put something out there, and so to put the bones of it don't really make sense for a broader audience because like, oh, that's
right,
not why you have to explain so much as a prelude. Then it's like, well, I wouldn't do that. It's just a mess, right? So I don't put anything. I couldn't put anything out that I make up. It doesn't make much sense, you know.
well, you could. You
It has
just need to. You would just like we would just have to get together on Saturdays and
yeah,
refine it a little bit and just
yeah.
kind of cut that. But I mean, I have no doubt you could do it. But I mean, so why do you buy them then? Why do you go grab these things in, Joe?
Well, first level, support the dude, right? I'll never play Swords and Wizardry, but I'm gonna buy every version or
You'll
edition that
never
Matt
buy
Finch.
swords.
I'll
I mean,
play.
you'll
I'll
never
never play.
play.
Yeah,
No,
yeah. I mean,
why?
I'll put out. I'll buy everything Matt Finch puts out because I like the dude, and I think the OSR wouldn't be around without him.
No,
So he's just the
no.
godfather, the grandfather, whatever you want to call it.
I mean, third party. A lot of the third party, systems wouldn't exist without him.
Yeah, yeah. He had the
We'd
balls
all
to get
still
it
be
done.
we'd still be writing derivative shit from for D&D.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Exactly.
Still
So
kind of agree with that.
I'll buy whatever he writes. People I like, I buy to support them.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna run Joe Block's Mega Dungeon, right? But I
Oh,
back
the
the thing.
Castle, the Art Mad Archmage.
Yeah. But I'll back
Okay,
it because it's Joe Block. He's a cool guy. I pretty much own
right.
everything he's ever put out. I believe.
But would you ever take his idea of the Mega Dungeon and put one in your, um, or use the map maybe?
No, definitely not the map. That's not
No,
my
definitely
style.
not the map. No, I know it's not mine either.
Yeah.
But would you ever use, I don't know, that idea in your,
A mega dungeon. The idea of a mega dungeon.
yeah,
It would have to be why is it there? It has to make sense. It goes back to why do what do work shit. It has to
yeah,
make sense as to why this multi-level thing
right.
exists.
This
Right? What was it
massive
before?
structure. Yeah,
Yeah. So it comes down to a question of the layout must be determined by what it was before.
hmm,
Okay. And then the current occupants must be determined by whatever the hell's going on in the world. And the layout must be such that it gives them an ecosystem to survive amongst themselves. It can't be like three gnolls in one room and a blue dragon in the next room, and over here is a beholder. It makes no fucking sense.
right. Yeah,
And so it'd be very, very hard to come up with something that fits both those scenarios. It just doesn't.
gotcha.
I can't see how you could have something that was designed for a certain purpose then has a functioning ecosystem within it. I just don't see it.
Right,
Maybe a
because I know
bunch of
you're very particular about your ecosystems and
yeah, it has
you
to make
like the
sense.
adventures.
Yeah, it has to
Yeah,
make
I get
sense, right?
that.
So no,
But I
I
mean,
couldn't even do it.
is it just too much work to change that stuff and fit
Yeah,
into your
I mean,
world?
the first of maps are a game breaker, right? Because I don't.
What's that?
The maps would be a game breaker, right? Like you're
Yeah.
talking about taking Joe Block's thing and making it my own.
Right. Well, maybe not just Joe Blocks. Maybe any of the let's just use Mega Dungeons as an example because Mega Dungeons are weird and they're
Yeah,
their own weird thing and everything.
yeah.
But take like maybe Barrel Maze or Stonehell
Funny you mentioned
or
that. Funny you mentioned Barrow Maze because the group
yeah,
last night we played and my other group, and I had dropped Barrow Maze because I've let me try to run this goddamn thing once. It's the
right,
uber reputational mega dungeon of all time, right? So
right.
and it's the premier old school mega dungeon. So let me try to run this freaking thing. So of course they avoided it. They didn't go there. So they tried a couple, they left. I was like, motherfucker, which prep I made into this shit, so, so then they're
That's
a little bit
funny.
of a high level PC crossover event going
Okay.
on because they went to the high forest where the other guys, because remember it's a continuation of the 5e campaign, right? So my
Right.
brother got to
Right.
interact with his old characters,
So
and
he got to play with himself.
he got to play with himself. He played two
Nice.
characters at once and had to interact somewhat. Blah blah blah. Bottom line, the old guys came to the town and they ended up nuking the old Barrow Maze. So then it was done. And I'm like, I don't give a shit. They took out one of the nemesis that I was setting up long term. And he says, I wasn't going to say this, but my guy would probably just go there and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, then do it. I mean, the high level guy. I said, well, it fucks the whole thing up. I said, this is a fucking sandbox. I don't give a shit. Fuck it up. Break it. I don't give a crap. Take her out now rather than at 12th level when she might be a nemesis or something like that. Because they saw the writing on the wall there. So anyway, so now the high level PCs blew it up and left. And they're like, so I dropped 3 plot hooks. Last night was a lot of shopping. You would appreciate 2 hours of
shopping time.
Because I told them this is the last time you're going to be in Civilization for perhaps a very, very many levels. You got some money, buy what you want to now, right?
Get your caramel lattes and go shopping, ladies.
Yep, go nuts. So then they got us some stuff. They came back, and so now they just they spent a lot of their fucking money. So now I gave them a few options. You got this, you got that, the other thing, and they came up with the mega dungeon as another option. I said, well, that's whatever. And they said, well, they probably didn't loot everything and it's unpopulated. I'm like, motherfuckers. They're all going up there. All right, let's go up. Great. So they had that fucker had his high level character nuke it, knowing he wouldn't be looking in the anal cavity for fucking 3 gold pieces. They're gonna go up there and now get the
that is so funny.
So now I'm doing some version of it that it just, but I figured out something. I'm not going to say it. I'll tell you off screen, but it's going to be a very different. It's going to be a modified thing. It ain't going to be at the scale of what it was. Put it that way.
Right. It will be what I mean? Pared down. The rest of it will have caved in on itself so much that he's.
What are you, a motherfucking mind reader? Yeah. Earthquake spell. Yeah. So there's some stuff left. You could go there and fuck around, but you're not gonna be walking through picking up 1,000 gold piece gems off the ground because they ignored it. You know what I mean? So they're gonna do that. Then they might do a couple other things. I'm reusing the druid thing that you just did, the henge. I'm gonna send them down to get the acorn. You know what I mean? That's one option. You mean
one rock?
That you guys?
The one you ran for not too long ago. Yeah. Okay.
First, I was annoyed. Two separate campaigns, but it was the only way to get it going because I was like, God damn it, I wanted the simplicity. But now I get the benefit of reusing stuff from one for the other. That's perfect.
Exactly, because they're not going to intersect.
They're not going to intersect. There's parallel universes that vaguely overlap sometimes a little bit.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. But that's what that's so Barrow Maze. I'm not running it, right? I was going to try it. It's a little better than most from what I've seen. It hangs together a bit, but
Barrow Maze is it's a simple. I mean, you got undead in it, and lots of undead.
All undead.
So it's
going to get old fast, if run
right because there's a lot of repetition in it. But here's the secret of Barrow Maze that I do, or how I've used it and everything. I've actually used Barrow Maze in a few of my campaigns, and what I do is I use it in pieces. Like it's so big, but like what I do is I'll just have them like they run in there for a little bit, and maybe there's something in there they got to get, and then they're out. But they know that there's more. But a lot of times they're pretty happy with just getting what they need to get in there. And get out. So I don't have to run it as an entire mega dungeon. It's there if they want to do it, but generally I chop it up into pieces for them to do, to play it, and it's worked beautifully for that. And so what I do is there's different entrances into the mega dungeon
from all the various.
So I make my own version, and it doesn't have to make a spatial sense. It's basically, as big as I need it to be.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean the entrance for here and there and whatnot. So because like I had and one of my it was just a small campaign to introduce people actually to gaming, and they came across the entrance to the Barrow Maze, but they found some warnings about it and the undead stuff, and of course adventurers, if there's a hole, they're going in. Going in.
So many jokes. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. So many. That's why I left and said it the way I did too. But anyways, then they go in there and they got to explore around, and they're like, well, how big is this? And like, you don't know. And they're like, well, I said, your torchlight reaches this far. And I said, you hear a lot of stuff down here, but you don't see the end of anything down here.
Except your life.
And then, and then they went upstairs and started asking about it. Then they started collecting folklore around it instead of just going in blind. So
Mm-hmm.
now when they were going into stuff, they would ask about local so they knew what they was going in. So
Yeah.
it served a good purpose for me. And that was just one example, but I've had it in like I think 2 other campaigns, but like just in partial,
Yeah.
and then Breach, God, he's running what is the Halls of Arden? Oh my God, that
I
thing.
know. Breach, we
But
keep
how many?
saying he. You don't want to misgender. I'm assuming you're a he. Not to be all PC
Oh,
or
that's
whatnot.
true.
You know what I mean? I because we never seen you here before, dude. I do that.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
welcome to the channel. You've been pretty,
Yeah.
awesome. Typing a lot and interacting. So thank you
But
very
the
much.
Halls of Arden Vault, man, that's
That's
a
a big one,
big,
right?
big. That's like, gosh, what is that? 1,200 pages long or something? Just giant.
Was it really? Jesus Christ!
It was divided up into I think what was it 2 volumes or 3 volumes or something
Wow.
like that. Yeah, Eric actually bought the actual book version.
I took a look at it. I think that was the latest one. And I saw it at North Texas, and I had spent so much
Oh,
money in
did
North
you?
Texas, and there was only a few left
4.
in
Oh,
the draw.
wow.
4 tomes. Then yeah, and it was
4
just like
tomes.
I can't do it. I just can't. I can't drop that
I'm-
coin because I knew. Looking at it, I did a quick scan and this and that, and like I say, I'm never going to run a mega dungeon, right? Yeah, like
Right.
in whole or in part. I'll do parts like you did. I'll throw it out there as an
Right.
option, and I just wanted to throw it out because I knew they would get sick and tired of it within 10 rooms. Because oh look, another zombie. Oh look, another tomb. Oh look, another crypt,
Right.
and they're just to be done. I know my group, so I knew I wouldn't have to run the whole mega dungeon, but I wanted to run a little bit. And that's
Right.
kind of what I'll do with the modules. I mean, I'll if there's anything like that, like the first I just finally ran Lamentations of the Flame Princess, Death Frost Doom, the 10th
Right.
anniversary edition. That Zach edited and added some stuff too. And I've been
Mhm.
wanting to run the thing for a while because it's the only Raji adventure I think that's playable. You're not
Right.
gonna fuck your players, you're gonna fuck your campaign world. And as you just heard, I don't care about that so much,
Right.
right? Drop in
Right.
10,000 zombies. That was the impetus, by the way, for the high level guys going there to take out blah blah blah. So they wiped out a whole fucking plot hook, a whole long stream thing. But
Right.
whatever, break my world, and then you broke it, then you broke it again, So
Right.
but that's fine. I don't care. So but it was honestly, it was the first module I'd run written since high school, right?
Wow.
As a 50-something-year-old guy, I think I just maybe college, maybe early college after I might in my low 20s when it was written. But yeah, after that, I just started doing my own thing. I'll just steal stuff.
How many adventures do you think you have behind you?
Hundreds.
Oh, you probably got more than that. Probably got
Hundreds.
thousands.
I mean, if you take out the hard drive, but I mean, written.
Well, I'm talking about PDF versions.
Oh,
I'm
PDF!
talking
Jesus
about
Christ, I got
books. Yeah.
terabytes. I mean, I'm just looking on the shelf here. You
So
sit behind me.
why do you think you need another one? Why would you buy? Are you just supporting now?
Sometimes it's supporting them, and sometimes what I'm doing is I am more interested in the game system, to tell you the truth, than modules. I backed Ambition Avarice or I buy because it's Greg's, but I also want to see what's in there that I could steal, because as I write my own game, I want to steal the best from the best, right? Same thing with what the hell is it? Jesus Christ, the guy who just put out the second edition of his game. Holy shit. Elder moment here, boys and girls.
I'm not sure.
Son of a bitch. He's the guy who was also a lawyer. He had that anyway. Bottom line is, I wanted to steal shit from him too.
He was a lawyer.
He was on a show once, and me and Rob jumped in on Eric's show. He was interviewing me, and Rob jumped in.
Was it Craig?
Craig what?
No,
not Nave. God, no, not Nave. I'll have to look on Kickstarter. But the bottom line is, I only backed it because he thinks like I think, in terms of writing and how things should make sense. So I'm like, if anybody out there is going to put out a game that makes sense to me, that I could steal shit from, it's this guy. So I backed, because why not, right?
Sure.
So I will back systems eagerly to try to see what I can steal for classes or races or anything like that. Because Adventure Conqueror King, Jesus Christ, what a fucking brain fart! I'm in on that for 225. So
is it Axe? Yeah, that's what it is. Axe.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jesus Christ.
We got a new guy too. We got, what is it, Bramos?
Esteban.
Sunstar.
Yeah.
We got Esteban. Nice. Yeah, I think we've had Esteban on here before.
Yep.
Oh gosh, there's Rob. Hey guys, what do you believe for him?
Rob, what are you blaming me for? You didn't do anything. It's not all about you all the time, Rob. I got news for you, motherfucker. I know you'd appreciate that.
Yeah, that's funny. Oh, Rob's no, we were talking, Rob. We were discussing about used, like how often do we use we buy all these adventures and then we don't use them, and I was talking about how you kind of integrate those adventures into your campaign and kind of integrate them
Yeah.
pretty seamlessly there,
Yeah.
like you did with the Pharaoh series and whatnot. So
Yeah, and I generally don't take the whole adventure. I'll take bits and pieces. It's a rare thing that I'll run a whole adventure as even close to as written.
right,
I'll break it apart and make. Basically, what I'll do is like I look at adventures as pieces in a jigsaw puzzle or module, right? And so I'll take the map from this one. I'll take the idea from that one. I'll take this monster from
yeah,
over here, and I'll take all these little pieces and I'll make my own scene
yeah,
out of those.
Your own Frankenstein
Yeah, that's it.
monster out of
Yeah,
it.
yeah. So
Yeah,
that's what I'll
yeah,
buy it for. I'll never run it. And a lot of shit, if I'm not going to read it, it's because I wanted to support the person, right? I don't need. I guess how many versions of Swords and Wizardry do I have? I'm not gonna,
I have like 7, I think now,
yeah,
or something
yeah.
like that.
I know.
Yeah,
Seriously,
we
so
got the
I'm not gonna
latest
do it.
version.
You know?
I know, and nothing's changed. I
Yeah.
yeah, I do support Matt. I mean, the format's better this time, and the art's way better. I never was a big fan of the Frog God art stuff
Hmm.
that much, so but
Yeah.
buy it then. But that I guess that's why these five these 5e modules,
Yeah.
those are harder to do in some ways because they're like they're almost like a Jenga tower because if you start pulling stuff out, the
Hmm.
ship falls. The adventure just fails. It can't
Yeah, so I don't,
withstand
that's why I never
human
run the
shape.
adventure. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
It's a rare thing. Like the only things like you pulled out the oddball thing, the Yawning Portal, because they had old adventures that I liked, right? So I
right.
all run
Yeah.
those, as much as I can as written. But even the giant one, right? Against the
Hmm.
that storm giant king thing, whatever the hell it's called, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I
That
don't have
adventure.
that one yet.
I
Yeah, I
took
don't
a
think I
few
did.
things from there, but one minor thing that I took was the black pillar. That this weird black pillar. I ran on that, and that was
Yeah, I
a
don't think I have
became
that
a
one.
really.
No,
Yeah, yeah. It was the
no.
I forget what the hell it was called.
There's a few of the early ones they still don't have.
Really? Okay. I stole shit from the dragon one. I tried to run those, but even that I could only
Mhm.
use some of it. But the
Right.
giant one I took bits and pieces from. And one of the things I did is that is black pillar, and I used that as a foundational point that carried in from first level to 25th level. Those pillars they just trigger something to me like, ooh, I could run with this. I'm going to play with this.
Yeah,
I'm going to make some up with this, and it
that's
just kind
cool.
of grew, And it's a stupid freaking thing that didn't make any sense in the game as written, but I just
Mhm.
I just took it, and it's like I like the
Yeah.
pillar idea. Now all the rest of it sucked ass, but I like the pillar idea.
Well, sometimes I mean, hey, if you can get one good idea out of it,
That's it.
sometimes that's better than what what you get out of most adventure
Yeah.
modules and
Yeah, to
stuff.
me that's
So
worth it, and the other thing too, why I back even I don't play it is there's a lot of time, many years, decades in my life I couldn't afford stuff,
right,
and so now
yeah,
it's
I hear you.
it's, it's an affirmation of success in a way, and like, oh cool, I'm going to buy this, damn it, I'm
Yeah,
going to back Acts 2 for 225, even though I shouldn't, it's a lot of money, but I'm going to goddamn do it because he's a cool guy.
$225 you backed it for.
That's what I did. Yeah, fuck me.
What the hell? It must be a lot of extras. I have like a used copy of the
The first
first
one.
one.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's I've never really used it or looked into it. I've heard really good things about it,
It's decent. Eric
but
ran it. I think Eric ran something for Axe with us back in the day in the Saturday night show, all that stuff.
I don't remember him using Axe. I mean, he used a lot of like James Sponge stuff back in the day.
Yeah, yeah.
He definitely
I remember playing Axe in his group. Maybe Greg ran it.
could
Everybody
be
was swapping around who was running who's doing
right.
stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, so here's what I
What
got.
is Rob babbling on over there about?
I don't know. Somebody gave him a happy pill and he's like all
I
kind
guess so. What the hell? Yep. We use maps, much of the details, but alter why and where to fit the campaign.
yeah.
Up to 3 version myself. What
Of
does that
Swords
mean?
and
Three
Wizardry.
versions? Oh,
Swords and
Swords and
Wizardry. Yeah,
Wizardry. Oh,
yeah,
still prefers Swords and Wizardry core. Second printing the most. The closest I found to a your
D&D
D&D
is out
is out
there.
there. Okay, and I use UK2 and UK3. Yeah, you do use the Sentinel and the Gauntlet. I think that one of those ones has like the magic mirror, and then they have like little teleporters that you can put in
Oh,
different
I
places and
fucking
stuff
hate
like
that
that.
kind of adventure. Because then you never figure out where the hell you're at. It's just a random. Why are you left or right? It's not an
Yeah,
informative
but
search.
once you figure it out, you can use them to your advantage
Yeah, but
because you can
I
because Rob would allow us to basically mine them up and put them in different areas.
okay,
So we could transport them to like city state, which was like two
okay.
weeks away travel, and now we have access. We instantly can go to city state.
See, that's different than what I was thinking. I thought they were more
Mm.
like the Palace of the Silver Princess shit, where you walk here, next thing you know, you're
Oh,
teleported somewhere, and you don't know what
right.
level where you're at.
No, this one, yeah. Well, I mean, this was kind of like that, but I mean, it was fun to use. Oh, Bramos Jose, he backed Rob's how to make a fantasy sandbox. Woo! Yeah, that's cool.
I heard it's going to
Yeah,
win many editing awards there, Ramos.
I
So
heard. Yeah, besides all its 2,000 quibbles.
yeah. So that's might
The
as well.
quibbles may hinder you and
Yes,
everything.
don't never you don't fuck with quibbles, tribbles and
No fuck
quibbles.
with
You don't
quibbles.
mess with them. You know
Oh, let's ask Jose. How Jose? How useful did you find the wind currents in Rob's
the what?
the wind currents?
Oh, the wind currents.
The wind
Yeah.
currents in the. Did you use that? Are you going to use the wind currents in the what's the other one? Water thing. I can't remember what the water
Longitude and
currents.
latitude, and yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's
uh,
saying, why do you buy if you don't play or don't run it? I mean, my reasons, like I said,
uh,
is generally I want to support the guy, or I want to steal from it or mine from it, or just because nostalgia bait and I can or I want. You know what I mean? So
well,
those are the
yeah,
main reasons.
I get that, and I would say probably mine. I definitely do all those three things. I'll definitely support a person if I
Copycat.
know. Yeah. But this is where I differ from you, and
Uh,
this is what makes me superior with why I buy modules, Joe. I like to see how people write adventures. I want to see how they write it, how they format it, how they deliver the information, especially with different systems. Like there you go. All right, Burkowski. Yeah, we gotta get our Bukowski on, huh? But like a few weeks ago, like I shared these the rats of Yule Ghoul.
huh.
I don't know these guys, so I didn't do it for support. The
Yeah.
reason why I bought these particular adventures is because they were written specifically for Shadow Dark.
Okay.
And I wanted to see how they did their adventures, how they
Yeah.
wrote them, and how
How
they
they laid
delivered
them
the
out.
information. What's
Hmm.
that?
How they laid them out and all that, right?
Yeah, because that's important when you're because each system has its own special delivery system
Yeah.
of information for for their adventures.
Hmm.
But that one, I'm not slamming the adventures, but the layout I am because I didn't like how they laid it out, so it taught me what I don't want to do.
All right.
The adventures themselves were perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with them. Will I run the adventures? I don't know. But I know, like, when I write an adventure, I'm not going to stylize it the way they did because I didn't like the way they delivered their information.
Yeah.
Um, like I said, they like Star or Shadow Dark kind of uses a very brief description and then they bold the important things. And then there's usually a bullet point that gives you further information about that bolded word.
Hmm.
And this one, like I said, they just do it such in a weird way that they'll bold words, but then they won't describe any more on it. But then they'll describe stuff that wasn't even in the description. So I was trying to figure out like what their thinking process was and why they did it this way. And maybe I was missing it, but I still haven't figured. Still haven't figured it out.
It sounds
All
like
I
you
bought.
Shadow Dark is the greatest, awesomest layout way to do it. You know,
No,
is that no? What do you think is it?
No, I mean it's a good way to do it, but I mean it depends on what kind. I think each adventure has its own way that you should deliver. Like if you with if you ever read my shit, Joe, you would know this.
Uh-huh.
You
Uh-huh.
freaking dumbass.
Well, I'm
I
trying to
mean,
keep them pristine in case the resale value. I guess I need money when I
yeah,
retire.
yeah, whatever, you putz. Anyways,
I did go back and read about Hugo once you told me he's in your fucking zine, though.
Oh, I
Like,
know. That's the only way to get you to read my shit is I
yeah,
throw them in my adventure, and then you might think you get like some
some
secret
clue as
tidbit.
to how to fuck them up. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
But no, I mean, like I will rate adventures different ways because there's different ways of delivering the information for a GM to get, and I think some adventures maybe require this way of doing it. And some of the adventures I write, um, I'm going to do it more of a maybe a different format or
Mhm.
whatever. It's just what I feel that works best for the adventure
Yeah,
too,
yeah,
or
yeah.
or the system because you have to integrate it with everything.
Mhm.
But I've kind of dabbled in the way Shadow Dark writes their adventures,
Mhm.
but I've never like committed to that style for any system. I just kind of did the bold and then did like a paragraph that describes it in a bit more detail.
Now,
Um,
you recommended something about the Blood King or something like that, the Blood Giant King that I have in my bag. I'm going to read it tomorrow during break. At
the
work, I
Blood
try to
Giant
get it.
Queen.
Something about, yeah, it was like an OSC adventure. Someone at the halls of a Blood Giant or something like that, or the halls of the Blood
That
Halls.
was a mine, bud.
Yeah, yeah, it's no, it's not yours. It's not yours. You recommended it's an OSC book.
Oh no, that's Diego's or
Diego's,
Diego
yes,
or
yes. So you recommend
Diego.
that as a good
Yeah,
example. Like I know that every module, every adventure is a different thing,
yeah.
but
You
when
have
you're
it right, the
looking at it,
hardback version of it,
yes, I
right?
do. I have that's it's in
Yeah,
my
he
bag.
won an Emmy he won a
Tomorrow.
gold Emmy for that one.
So that's good. So other people
Yeah,
think it's good. You like it. You thought it's good. If you had to
yeah.
pick, even though what you just said is that they're all different, but if you had to pick a sort of a standard style that would apply in most cases, which module is the exemplary of that?
Oh, geez, Joe.
Is it
But again,
Diego's?
like
Is it, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you had to
it
pick
just
one?
it just depends on the adventure and what kind of information you're trying to
Mhm.
convey to it. I definitely think it's a good idea, and it depends on doesn't get talked about a lot, but I think it's very important. I think most adventure modules, you know how you have your level of what characters should go.
Yeah.
This is an adventure for third and fourth level characters.
Yep.
But I always think it's a good idea to have a rating for the GM. This
Interesting.
adventure could be run by novice GMs. This could be run by intermediate. This one you definitely want to have some time under your skill to run this adventure because there's different adventures that have different complications. And I think that it would be helpful. And I've done this in some of my old modules. I would give a rating system on
Mhm.
like what level of GM should run the adventure module.
That's interesting
Some
because
sort of
nobody thinks about that because you're just lucky to have a DM. You don't care how good or bad they
right,
are. You just want to play the freaking game. And
right.
DMs always think you're, we're everybody. If you're DMing, you got a bit of an ego. There's no way around it, right? Or
Well,
control.
sometimes you're the one who drew the short straw
That's
too.
true. Yeah,
Sometimes,
yeah, yeah. So short
yeah.
straw, ego, or control issues. But
Right.
so you're just lucky as a group to have it. And as a DM, you think you're good anyway. And so I could play this. I was as advanced DM. I've been doing it for 18 months, and it's like, oh, well, no way about that, man. But yeah, that makes sense. It almost like a DM rating system.
Yeah.
Caution, inside you will find that you must blah blah blah
Well,
blah and blah
I
blah.
would just say that a beginning, this is a great module for like a novice GM to cut their teeth on kind
Mhm.
of thing. I try to write a lot of those, but then I write more complicated adventures that someone like Rob would best run it, and because
Yeah.
especially when you get a lot of moving parts,
Yes.
and different factions and different plot lines going through there. I don't write a lot of complicated adventures
Mhm.
like to for third for I will run the shit out of those like
Yeah.
in my game, but not because most of mine are short adventures, like a
Yeah.
couple
Couple
adventure,
sessions
it's a
most.
couple sessions a lot of times, so you don't have a lot of time on the paper. Like
Mhm.
that's the other thing. How much space sometimes dictates what
Mhm.
kind of format you're going to use.
Yeah, yeah. And PDF, I
Obviously,
mean, it doesn't matter, right? If you're talking layout publishing in paper,
yeah,
yeah,
but I always do mine on do a print version too for
yeah, you do.
Patreons and stuff, patrons and stuff.
Yep.
Let me see. So Esteban said I bought
Ah,
Rapin Athuk.
Rappanathic,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
Rappanathic. Is that? Oh yeah, yeah.
I played
Run it
some
in
of that.
Shadow Dark. Oh, very cool. How's
Yeah.
it? I would look. That's interesting. I'd love to see how that worked out.
It's one of the better mega dungeons. It's pretty cool. It
Yeah,
makes you going
I
off. It's a
have
little weird.
the upper levels or something. I'm missing some levels. I
I
don't
bought the
know.
whole thing. They either did it, either it was a Kickstarter or something else, but I ended up buying the latest, greatest, everything all in one, everything's ever been published for it. Here it is, book. With a
Right.
shit
I
ton of
don't.
maps.
Yeah, I have the books, the different booklets
Yeah.
type of thing. Let me see what we got. Flint. Wasn't your Lions module? Yeah, Flint. Yeah, that was my thing. I think it was my first or second attempt to write a adventure using the Shadow Dark kind of formatting for their
Mhm.
adventures. I still use a lot. I use probably more description or setup than Shadow Dark does because Shadow Dark is very sparse with their description. They just they almost give you a list of stuff. It's almost like what was it, Stonehell Dungeon.
Mhm.
Basically, the descriptions of the room were candle, chair, and fork, and then that was the room, and then you had to
Candle,
be.
chair, fork.
No, I'm not kidding. I mean, have you ever seen the format? Let me see if I can
No,
find it real
no.
quick. Yeah, Stonehell was like I think the first.
Oh, I think I have. I remember. Yeah, there was
Yeah,
one time I did a deep dive on my PDF library for all the old school mega dungeons, and I found it there.
I gotta
Yeah,
find my
yeah,
mega dungeon
yeah,
section there now. I
yeah,
don't know
yeah.
where that's at. I lose it.
You have a whole mega dungeon. So you have like a Dewey Decimal System of how you organize that shit over there.
Of course I do. Just like you have your weird
Yeah.
section.
Oh, I have a system that nobody
It's
else.
not great, like yeah, but
Yeah,
it
obviously, since you
works
can't find
really.
it, I guess
Yeah,
so.
I was gonna say it's working great so
Uh,
far, isn't it? Yeah.
oh, Jesus Christ!
No, I guess it might be. Oh wait, is that it?
We found it. We found it.
No. Did you
No,
find it?
no, no,
No,
no.
I
I'm
thought.
just making fun of you. Yeah,
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 I know. Yeah. You
yeah.
already don't read my. You already don't read my shit. So shut
No,
up.
I don't read shit. I don't read shit.
Yeah, you are.
Patreon, jeans.
Yeah,
No,
you just like get it and then give me false hope that somebody likes my stuff.
no. I like that you're making stuff.
Oh,
You
there
know,
it is.
and
Of course.
I,
That was the first place I looked, and I didn't see it.
of
I
course,
didn't know.
so a senior
Oh, that's
moment is
not.
what we're dealing with here.
Yeah, well, I still can't find it, so it might be in my other stack because I have this stuff up here,
Uh-huh.
and then I have like 4 or 5 boxes of gaming stuff
All
full of
right.
boxes that I probably should find a new home for. So, and then what do you got? And then Jose says I like to mine Barrow steel. Oh, mine Bora steel from
Yeah.
everything I buy. Imagine fantasy worlds writing my own stories and
Yeah,
rule
I'm
sets.
right
Yeah,
there. I'm right there,
yeah,
bro.
yeah. But so I do. I use my part of the things that I were like good example. Like I said, is that the set of adventures that I held up. Will I run them? I don't know. I don't know if I will,
Yeah.
but it helped me kind of clarify how I didn't want to write
Yeah, yeah, that makes
my
sense.
my
That's your odd reason, other than mine. That was your
yeah.
oddball reason, different one.
Yeah,
And
because I was really because like when even when I get the 5e modules,
Mhm.
sometimes what I'll do is I'll read them through, and then I go meta on them. I start breaking down the structure of the adventure. I start breaking down the structure of the story. I see. I want to look at it from behind the curtain. I want to be honest and look see how things work and
you're like a film critic, basically going to a movie to get the mechanics of it rather than to
right.
watch and enjoy the movie.
Right. Yeah. In a lot of ways. I mean, I still enjoy some of them and everything, but I do want to break down the case. And a lot of times, like, I don't want to have an Indiana Jones adventure, if that
Yeah,
makes sense.
yeah, yeah,
Indiana Jones didn't need to exist in the film because
yeah.
it ended up the same no matter what.
Yep.
And sometimes in the adventures, the way they're written, that happens. I mean, I've done it myself. I do, I write stuff that then I go back to it and I'm like, what the hell? What did I do there? I mean, it happens, but I mean, that's part of adventure writing. Sometimes you got to write some shitty stuff so you can get to the good stuff.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
okay,
Yep.
And
Yep.
I think that's the same way with the adventure modules. It's okay to go through some shitty stuff. Maybe it wasn't worth it because there's a few things I bought that I didn't like, and I would never run it. But
Mhm.
like I said, sometimes you can learn more from stuff you don't like than stuff you do like.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. It's learning from adversity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
generational thing. So what is? I mean, I'm wondering what everybody else in the chat there. We still got 12 people with us, surprisingly. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, and then I believe Flint. Flint's the one who does this for us all the time because we never do it ourselves. So since we got 12 people, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't,
yes,
and
yes,
like the video because that's important to YouTube
yeah,
apparently, but not to us.
yeah, yeah.
But
Well, it matters to
well,
me. I don't my
Joe
feelings.
likes this stuff. But yeah,
Yeah.
we're I have my channel because mostly people watch on Joe's, but I have mine
Mhm.
on Gothridge Manor. Forgot
Yes.
my freaking channel. And yeah, and I'm going to be starting to do like some solo videos about actually adventure construction and writing and those kind of things because that's what I like to do. That's what I love. That's where my general love of gaming is.
I'm learning a lot.
Is
We've been getting together, guys, a couple Saturdays now, Tim and I, in the morning, virtually. And I write something because remember I said I'm going to write this, Tim, and well, you could edit it rather than vice versa. So I write something I'm real proud of, and Tim says that's good, but it sucks. And so it is. And so
you just have this weird. So Joe, has people who come in. I don't give a shit what your backstory is. I don't want to know. You suck. You didn't exist. You're not. You don't need a 20-page backstory. But when he writes adventure, he gives a 20-page backstory to a farm
for the DM. Yeah, that's for the DM
Yeah, for the
because to
DM,
me
right?
that's what matters,
But
the immersion.
those stories that they're giving you those are for the DM too, but you just don't like those.
Yeah, because they're stupid.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, someone who's going to the farm for one encounter doesn't care. Like 20 years ago, the farmer, planted his seed here, and now he's got like 2 kids. Yeah, I know I did that on purpose.
The funny thing about it is that I need to do that level of bullshit in order to
Sure.
drill down into the module. This is what I realized after we were done, because I can't just think in terms. It manifested itself last week in our show. Remember when as we were going through this, you were like, how would you rewrite it? I'm like, I don't know, I'm not done reading it yet. I have not disassembled it into its disparate parts and then floated 1,000 miles above it and looked down upon it.
Joe, you're so good at what do you call it? What is it called? Improving, like you're in NPCs. It's just another version of that.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not any different.
But I couldn't do that within the analysis of the module of the Druid Forest Oracle one. I couldn't start rewriting in the middle until I knew everything about it, and then I could drill down into how I would rewrite it.
Well, remember when we were asking, we were using the context of the module.
Yes.
And rewriting it to make it better in the context that we're there. I mean, granted, the context sucked.
Yeah.
But we were trying to make it, we were trying to polish a turd at that point. And then at the end, then we kind of talked about how to kind of restructure it to make it to use it. All the elements, you got all the pieces on the table, but now you can rearrange the pieces and then rewrite how they interact with one another.
Yes, I had to do the high level view before I could even effectively drill down into how would I rewrite this section of it then. Whereas you were going through it and you were like, how would you rewrite this section then? I'm like, I have not gone to the million-mile view yet. You know what I mean? So, and that's as I realized afterwards, after that and after this past Saturday, this is what I do with like writing a module. I need to get the 1,000-mile view. I need to be up above it, looking at everything and why did the farmer and what did the farmer eat for breakfast that day? And then I could distill it down to what the hell is going on, because then it hangs together. There's more context. It makes more sense.
But what you have to do at that point, like we were talking about, is distill it down to the player's point of view, because you have to write it. While it is for the GM, you still have to write it in context of what the player, like what I was kind of trying to drill into is the actionability of the situation.
Yes.
What is going on there, and how you can, because I mean, if you have more than 2 paragraphs, a lot of times people are tapping out.
Yeah, especially these days.
Yeah,
You
you
know,
just want to. Well, even back then, I mean, how many? God, you remember those freaking introductions that
I
they'd
love
have
them,
in front of the
dude.
modules?
I love that shit, man. I at this point, like,
But did you bore your players with
oh
that
yeah,
introduction?
fuck
Oh
yeah.
God.
Oh, we sat down, we opened the beer. They knew they were getting a Gygaxian introduction. You know what I mean? And we just sat back with a beer and we're like, all right, it's on. Let's hear it. And all the
God.
flowery words and all that shit. It
Yeah, I
became
would I would
campy,
tap out.
you know?
Just tell me where. Just point me in the right direction,
Oh no, no, no.
and I'm going. I'll
That's no
figure it
fun.
out as I go. Yeah, because
Well,
just
that's our difference in approach, which is making it interesting
mhm,
because I'm getting a master class on Saturdays on this what we're talking about now. It's fucking fun. I'm learning something. I feel
mhm.
good. I'm a 50-something-year-old dude. How often do you get to say you're improving yourself purposefully for a good thing that you actually enjoy, rather than some bullshit class you got to take for work?
Well, and
You
then
know what I'm
and it
saying?
helps me too sometimes, Joe. It helps me a lot, Joe, because I'm in my head most of the time,
Yeah,
and I do these things, but I don't verbalize them, so I
yeah.
don't have any. I guess I
Hmm.
don't. Sometimes I'm doing something, but I don't have the verbiage to explain it or
Yes.
to describe what's going on. But helping you helps me understand how
Hmm.
I think.
Well, that's how
Strangely enough,
karate.
yeah.
They said in karate that you're never going to be a great karate person until you've taught karate too, because that's
Right.
when you really know the nuts and bolts of it. It's the same deal. It's funny you mentioned that too, because I just did. In case you saw, I don't know if you did. I'm trying to
Mm.
put out more stuff and more content all the time on
I
the
didn't.
channel
Are
now.
you talking about the short that you put out?
Yeah, so I put out a short
No, I didn't
today,
get a chance to see it yet.
evil
No.
DM thing, and another trick number 7, and then I put out a video that an unboxing I recorded a few weeks ago, and then I actually recorded another video on why I don't use wisdom or intuition, and that came down from a question. It's going to release at noon. I'm sorry, at 1 o'clock Eastern on Wednesday. It's a live premiere, so I'll be at lunch watching it with you guys at work. But the bottom line is, this whole
Very
thing was
cool.
prompted. Yeah, right. So this whole thing was prompted by a question Dwayne had for me in this new RPG where he says, "Hey, you got 9 ability scores. How come there's no
Right.
wisdom/intuition? What the hell? What do you why?" And
Yeah.
he was just genuinely curious, and I'm like, and I know why, but without thinking about it in detail, because I don't like it because it's stupid. All right, now
Right.
explain it to
Right.
him in more legitimate words that he actually deserves an answer about. And so I sat there for a bit,
Right.
and I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna text him some because working whatever. And so I
Right.
texted him this long fucking text, and it laid out pretty clear, organized thoughts about why I don't do it, and to verbalize it or to actually write it out is something I've never had to do before. But
Right.
then
No.
this I did this months ago. This became the basis of a video I put out today as to why I don't do it. 10-minute
Yeah.
video. So it'll be out on
Yeah.
Wednesday. You can check it out. But all that was
That's cool.
prompted by me never thinking about the reasons, just knowing I don't
Right.
like
Yeah. So
it.
yeah, just you explaining it to Dwayne helps you kind of understand why you do it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's helpful to me because
Absolutely.
if I ever want to do some sort of DM guide, I need to actually articulate this shit. I used to do this a lot
Hmm.
when I had the blog, hundreds of blog posts. I could actually get my
Yeah.
thoughts out about something. But now, a lot of these times, it's funny. I'm responding to comments that are a few months old around a video from a year ago or something I did, and they're
Right.
asking me questions to commenting. I'm like, I said that. I did what? What?
Right.
Because I just start talking and bullshit comes out.
I know. I
Yeah,
know. You just it's machine gun out of you, man. But
yeah.
you can feel you can. There's no dead air.
No, yeah.
I
I mean,
mean,
dead air is bad. I was a DJ at a
yeah.
radio station
No,
for a little bit.
absolutely.
I know
Yeah,
that
you do a
rule.
great job. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah. But I just it's a funny thing is I don't remember what I see in videos, guys. And this is no, I'm not trying to dismiss what I'm saying as he must be just talking bullshit. I was asked that doesn't matter. I'm trying to make articulate points in things that matter to
Hmm.
me. It's just that I get it out there and then I forget what the fuck I said, right?
Right.
Because it's just an
I do that
bleh,
too. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, it's that.
Mine's not even blah. Mine's a much more slower pace than yours, and I still you know we can't remember what the hell I said from
Yeah,
like sometimes I have my podcast and sometimes I'll say something on the podcast and it's like did I say that?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then I'm like okay. And then the bad thing is I don't want to listen to my own podcast to see if I said it. I just assume that
Yeah.
they're
I jump around in it
telling
just to
them.
make sure. Like before I
Mhm.
post it, I'll record it. I'll jump around it and make sure the sound is good and the video is good, even though there's never any
Yeah.
video of me. That's what I make sure of. And then I'll post. I'll never listen to it though. I'll just jump through it to make sure it's okay.
Oh, right.
You know?
Yeah,
The
I'm
only-
bad at that too. I don't kind of rewatch my own videos
yeah,
or rewatch my own. Um, well, once in a while, I have to say, once in a while, I'll rewatch one of our videos, our
do you?
lives.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, every once in a while, like I'll put something on, like while
You
I'm
just can't get enough
folding
of me, huh?
laundry.
You just love
Yeah,
me. You can't get enough of me. I know. I get it.
crushing hard, Joe, crushing
Ivy's,
hard.
Ivy's, you'll be jealous, Tim. No more nut cheese for you.
I'm not
That's
even
it.
going there with that one. No.
Oh, God, everybody knows what
So
nut cheese is. We've talked about it here at least, have we? Ivy, his wife,
I think we
makes the
have, yeah.
cheese made out of nuts, and so of course, nut
And
cheese.
strangely, it's pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
yeah,
weird
yeah,
thing. Yeah, it's actually
yeah,
good stuff.
yeah.
Now, did you
Shit,
see
man.
what Rob's comment says, rate all that, but you don't have to share it with the rest of us.
Yeah,
Distill it when you
yeah.
share.
And what I
And I
learned
and
from
I
you the other. Hmm?
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Something I learned from you the other day related to that, where what he just said was that, once you have the flavor behind it, you could sprinkle clues to it in there and let the
Hmm.
DM try to figure it out, the greater context from all your clues.
Right.
Things like that. So you can put hints or clues or little bits and
Right.
pieces that if a careful reading of it means, oh, if this here and this here and this here, put it all together, that means this backstory
Hmm.
wise is going on. And so that then they can
Yeah.
figure it out. That becomes a little puzzle hunt or
Yeah.
something.
You don't have this big giant info dump. Nobody
No,
likes
yeah,
info dumps.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
just, I mean, nobody likes it in the movies. Nobody likes it in the comic books or
Hmm.
novels or I always hated info dumps. It's show don't tell.
Oh,
That's the golden
dude.
rule of fiction. Show
And
don't
yet,
tell.
and yet, the most because here's the bullshit of that statement,
Hmm.
because the most iconic info dump ever was
Hmm.
dun, 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 dun. You see the scrolling text going across the
Oh,
screen for
yeah.
Star Wars, and
Right. Right. Yeah.
A New Hope Chapter 3 or whatever, and then blah blah blah. That's on my mind because I went to the May the 4th be with you, and happened to be the 25th anniversary of the release of Phantom Menace. So me and my brother, we took the nephews all down there, and we watched it on Saturday night. It was fucking great, man.
Right.
I hadn't seen
That's
the Phantom
funny.
Menace in the theater since I saw it in the theater in California.
Oh, so you didn't really go see a Star Wars film?
Not well, I did when I was a kid, but I haven't seen it in decades. You know what I
Well,
mean?
the Phantom Menace, you consider it's like
It
I
was
don't know.
well, it was
I'm not a Star Wars. I mean, I like Star Wars, but I'm not a huge Star Wars fan. I like it, and then I don't think about it.
yeah.
So
Well, I mean,
I mean,
back
but it's
it's
cool.
good to watch. It's like once in a while. It's like background show. If I dare any geek to, if they have like they walk past their TV and The Empire Strikes
Hmm.
Back is on, I dare any geek not to
Well,
sit down
no,
for at least a half an
well,
hour.
you're talking about the Phantom
The
Menace.
Phantom Menace, I agree. Yeah, that's
Yeah, that's not gonna that's
yeah.
gonna make people shut it off.
But you
I
know what
think.
was cool about it was the nostalgia factor, because I tell you about the whole California trip for this
I
Phantom
don't
Menace
think
when it
so.
was released. So my buddy Steve, we used to play D&D with him in college and post college. He is the Star Wars junkie. He knows all the shit. He was this
Sure.
and that, right? He happened to be living in California, and it must be what 99, whenever the hell it was released, right? 99, because I was
Right.
working
I think
in New
that's
York
when it
City.
was. Yeah.
Yes, I was
Hmm.
working in New York City at the time, at a decent job, and he's living in California. He moved out there, and he was trying to make it in Hollywood. While and he was doing the scripts and this and that. But at some point,
Was he a screenwriter or something, Joe?
he was doing stuff like that. He was trying to make it
Yeah.
however he could. But
Gotcha.
anyway, so bottom line is, when they announced Star Wars was going to be released, a new movie, blah blah blah, he was pumped because he could see Star Wars at Grumman's Chinese Theater out there, right? He's going to be
Oh,
there.
okay.
And because that was the place where the whole phrase blockbuster originated. People were lined up around the block at that theater, pictures taken to watch Star Wars, the original
Ah,
movie.
okay. Yeah.
So he's like, well, shit, I'm going to go see it where Star Wars made its biggest bang, where it all began. I'm
Right.
going to see it at this
Yeah.
theater. And a lot of
Cool.
people decided that. He's not the only geek, right?
Sure.
So
Yeah.
they decide they're going to camp out for 7 or 8 weeks to see this fucking movie.
7 or 8 weeks?
They set up shop. Yeah, by the time it got going, I
Oh
think
my
it was at
God.
least 6 to 7 weeks, right? And so they
Right.
set up shop on the sidewalk, and they created this. Everybody was donating stuff because they were on the news all the time. This is what, in the early web.
Oh, so it
They had a
became a little
live
community,
stream.
huh?
It was a community that had a live stream live from there. Somebody ran a
That's
T1 line
funny.
out there. Dell Computers donating equipment and gear. You had network hubs. It
Really?
was the
Oh my
goddamn. It
God.
was ridiculous, dude. And
That's
these couple of
hilarious.
Australian dudes sort of got behind it and organized it, and they were out there. I think they were scamming a whole lot of shit from it. I don't know.
Oh,
But the
well,
bottom line is,
sure.
this whole elaborate system worked out. By every 4 hour chunk of time you were out there in line, you got a point. And at the end of the day, however many points you accumulated over those 6 or 7 weeks got you your spot in line. Steve never left, right? So Steve had so
Okay.
many fucking points that I'm like, he's going to see this thing and be like way up front in the line at midnight, when it goes on.
Right.
And so I'm like, dude, can you give points away? He goes, yeah. I said, you got enough to give me points so I could walk in with you kind of early and jump the line if I just show up? He goes, yeah. I said, all right, I'm flying out. So I
That's
flew out.
hilarious.
I flew out to California, LA, right? And they even had tents, they had everything. There was sleeping bags.
Right.
And I'm like, and they also had this room that people who were there all the time and organizers used. It was a hotel room across the street, 2 beds, shower, desk, take a shower. If you're going to be there
shower,
a lot,
shit and shave. Yeah.
Basically, it's one of those deals. But they had a couple beds and whatnot. Some people crashed. So I get there late in the day. We went to some, I don't know, In-N-Out Burger. I never heard of before that place. We get, I think it was, and then we get out there. And I'm going in line. I'm all excited. 6, 7 o'clock, all geeked out. I'm in my late 20s. This is fun. And I'm like, I'm going to sleep overnight. I'm going to earn some of these points that I've been given to jump literally hundreds and hundreds of people. I'm thousands, if not thousands. I'm jumping in line. I'm going to earn some of these points. So I'm like,
how do you get the points again? How do
you have to sleep on the sidewalk or be on the sidewalk for every 4-hour chunk of time. It was like a time
be on the sidewalk to get points?
No, sleep.
I thought you said P too.
B.
Oh, B. Okay.
Like, in other words, you can wait in line as long as you're standing on the sidewalk, sleeping on the sidewalk. You got to be on the fucking sidewalk, and you clock in when you get there and leave, and it accumulates hours. Every 4 hours equal to point. So I'm out there. I get there. I'm like, I'm going to earn some points. I'm going to sleep here overnight, right? So I lay down, and I'm like, this sucks. This is hard. It's concrete. I'm like, this kind of fuck this shit. I think I lasted an hour and a half. Even with a sleeping bag and a mat. So I had a mat under me, a sleeping bag. I had pillows. It's cool. It was safe. There was nothing going on. There was no rodents. Or nothing. I'm like, fuck this shit. So I went over to the hotel. Right. So not only am I stealing these fuckers' places in line, I'm using their fucking hotel to sleep. Right. So wow, shit. Tim froze. You there, Tim? Oh shit. Oh, there you are. You there?
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
I don't know. Something blanked. I heard everything.
All right. So I'm stealing their places in line by not even being there, and now I'm stealing a hotel room, right? So they had like 2 full-size beds in there, right? So no, one full-size bed, which is pertinent to the story. I hop in bed. Right. And there was some geek on the computer doing stuff, whatever. What they were, I think, really doing is all the stuff that these companies are donating to advertise on the sidewalk. They dropped it right onto eBay and selling it for money. So they're just doing this eBay business out of the hotel room. Right. They're just scamming the fuck out of it. And I hop in bed. I'm like, they didn't know who the hell I am. I just hopped in bed and went to sleep. I'm a big guy. You going to fuck with me? Right. So I go to sleep.
Right.
I wake up in the morning. Right. And I'm being spooned by an even fatter guy. I didn't know who the fuck he was. He just gotten tired of sleeping on the sidewalk too, and he hops in bed with me. So I feel this fat guy behind me, and I'm like, "The fuck?" I look, who the fuck are you going? He's like, "Oh, I'm like, you're fucking spooning me, you fat fuck." So, what the fuck,
you could at least turn the other way. Huh?
Seriously, Christ, dude.
And
he's under the covers with me too. He's literally under the covers with me, dude. I'm like, "Fuck, dude. At least have a separate blanket, you motherfucker."
Was he clothed at least?
So what's that?
Was he clothed at least, or did
he was clothed? I had pants on. Nothing happened. There was no.
That's what you say. You were asleep for a while.
I know. But my tushy felt fine the next morning, so I assume everything was or he was tiny, one or the other. But the bottom line is that we ended up going. So I'm like number 55 in line out of thousands of people, all because of this fucking guy's points. Right? We were the first group to go in, and they let us in 2 hours early. This place. Oh, wow. I cannot describe. There's like 1,500 seats or 1,500 there. It's a beautiful, beautiful old style theater inside. And as we were walking in, the intensity, the screaming, the joy, the happiness, people were just screaming. Funny. Thousands and thousands of people were screaming because we're walking in. And all the vendors, everybody who wanted to be, get some product, they were throwing things at us. They were throwing toys and gifts, and some guy got walkie-talkies. I mean, just so that as we walked out, somebody might take a picture with the guy with the walkie-talkies in his hand. We get into this theater, and they let us in 2 hours early so we could get our seats and blah blah blah, because they knew it would be a madhouse. They let us in 2 hours early, and for 2 hours the place just screamed. Everybody went nuts. Everybody was screaming. There was frisbees, balloons, beach balls. There was crowd surfing. There was just nonstop everything going on, just pure joy and ecstatic. People happy as hell. And I recently saw a video. My brother found it. I think my nephew found it of that night. Somebody, this is pre-cell phones, somebody must have had a video recorder because it looks like around that quality or early digital.
Right.
And
Yeah, I
I'm
guess,
like,
yeah.
and I showed it to my brother. I'm like, see, I told you, this is what it was. It was complete mayhem. It was overjoyed mayhem.
Oh,
It was
it's so
fantastic,
funny.
though. Yeah, yeah. So that was a 10-minute story, man. And we still got 10 people. Holy shit. I can't believe
I
it.
know, surprise.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
yeah.
they'll like. So I'll tell you my Star Wars story.
All
I don't
right.
know if Rob was there for this one. So it was the 20th anniversary of the New Hope. So
Uh-huh.
the first. So I think it came out. I guess 97,
Yep.
and they added 20 seconds of never seen footage before,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
elements, stuff
Yeah.
like that. So it's this big. So it was one of those deals where they had to buy this girl named Robin
Uh-huh.
bought the tickets ahead of time for us because I guess they were selling out. I didn't, they just asked if I wanted to go. I said, sure, just tell me how much you need
Mm-hmm.
and I'll go. And so we go to the movie theaters and just about everybody's dressed up.
Yeah.
And, geeking out, doing their thing,
Yep.
which was cool. But, I'm just, I'm like, okay. Well, we get inside the movie theater and everybody's got these fucking lightsabers. So they must have been giving them out or something like that.
Yeah.
And so they weren't the collapsible kind. They were like solid plastic that had like a little shitty light inside.
Yep.
All right. So everybody's geeking out. Everybody's swinging these fucking lightsabers.
Oh,
around.
I know where this is going. I know
and
you're.
I'm like, yeah, and I'm just like, I swear to God, if one of these guys,
Yep.
what's the thing? I mean, I get it. They were geeking out and everything, but I still didn't want to get clocked in the face.
Yeah. That's still sting. They'll leave a mark.
Yeah. So but I was just trying to kind of go with it. But it's very hard for me to just go with it when somebody's, geeking out. So I almost get to our seats.
Uh-huh.
And there's these two little kids playing with their lightsabers, having a really good time. Two brothers or something like that.
Yeah.
They're dressed like little Luke Skywalkers.
Yep.
They had the little bathrobe
awesome.
thing and everything. And then one of the fucking kids caught me with a baseball swing right at nutsack level and just dropped me, man.
Oh, that's fantastic. You dropped to the ground?
Oh, God, yeah. Oh, jeez. I was like hanging on to the arm of the chair, and I'm like
what do you do? They're little kids. You can't beat their ass. They're little kids.
No,
it's fantastic.
I couldn't anyways. The kid could beat the shit out of me anyways. That was done. Yeah, I was taking. I could have beat the hell out of me with his lightsaber, man.
He must have been a true Jedi, dude.
He was.
Obviously Sith.
Yeah.
You just projected Sith. He had to go down, man.
This is not the ball sack I'm looking for. Yeah.
See, that's how I know Rob wasn't there with you, because with his warping skills, he would have deflected the blade, right? So
I remember if Rob was there. I know it was a group of us, but I don't know if Rob was there or not. You'd have to tell. But oh, God, that hurt so bad.
Oh, that's fucking great.
Yeah, it was. I mean, and the funny thing is, the mom was apologizing and everything.
Yeah.
I barely had enough breath to go. It's all right. Yeah. So that's my Star Wars story. So I made sure
awesome.
that I was. Because I was worried about the tall folks that were swinging.
Yeah.
I wasn't scanning for munchkins swinging the damn things around to my own demise.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. Brought you to your knees. Clear, that was the ball sack he was looking for. Exactly. Of course.
Actually, I actually didn't get mad about it. I mean, because it was just two little kids.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, they were having a great time and everything. I just was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and I didn't get one of those lightsabers, or maybe I could have blocked the damn thing.
Rob was there. He would have saved you, obviously, because of the LARP. Rob would have had a lightsaber too.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt. I think the other guy he got one of those things. And I just told him to get the fuck away from me.
We have I
don't even want you sitting next to me.
There's a drive-in theater out here that it's a really nice old-fashioned all
Oh yeah,
drive-in
that's
theater,
cool.
and so we go there. We try to get there once a year. The whole, me and my brother and kids and everything, and we head in, and they got the ice cream trucks in the back and some vendors, and
Oh
as the
yeah,
light
yeah,
is coming down, it's getting darker. People are running to get the hot dog from the place, and
yeah.
then
That's
you run
fun.
back to the car, and you got all the stuff you bought from the vendors, and they had lightsabers. I'm like, oh. So me and my two
Oh,
nephews, I mean,
mhm.
they're older teenage boys than me. I'm like, we're getting lightsabers. And so we got lightsabers. You fucking lightsaber fight because
Right.
lightsabers, man.
Because it's
Lightsabers,
lightsabers, you got to get
they
them. Yeah.
defy age,
Right.
So you gotta just fucking get it, Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely. That's funny.
So I can't think
All
of a
right.
better way to end the show than Tim getting
Yeah.
kicked in the nuts, actually. So
Oh God.
I think that's a good timing.
It's making me hurt just thinking about
I
it
can see
still
you're
all this
wincing.
time later. Yeah.
Yeah, the look on your face is like
I
halfway
think it's
there.
probably the hardest I ever got hit like that down there. I think it is. Yeah.
God, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
That is
So,
fucking that's right up there with dented books, man. Dented nutsack.
oh,
Yeah.
I know you like me getting hurt and you like
Yeah.
me getting damaged books.
Well, I
So
did. I
yeah,
even
we,
mentioned
we
I
know.
as I was scanning my video from 3 weeks ago that I posted today. I
Mhm.
jumped through, make sure it's all good and this and that. And I heard a part where I was cutting it open. I gotta be really careful doing this so I don't damage it. Tim always gets damaged books, and I fucking laugh. It was like I had to throw it into the video too. So that's in there. That'd be one of the random
That's in
points I
there.
jumped to. So yeah.
And then
Yeah.
one thing before we go
Yep.
is like I know we got 10 people.
Mm.
We're looking for topics. Anything you guys
Yeah.
want us to cover or
Yep.
discuss? We're not going to do a whole episode on me getting hit in the nuts. So none of that.
As funny as it would be.
As funny as it would be,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
As we listen to this later, guys, as most of you probably are, I'm sure. Post in the comments. We do read all the comments.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
we do.
I try to
Well, I don't
respond.
know. May we know how Joe does stuff. Well, he might not read them. He says he does, but he's just there to support you. He'll heart you, but he
Yeah,
won't read your
yeah,
comment.
yeah.
Shit,
Well, the force is guiding me to the bathroom here. So let's wrap this up, boys and girls, and we'll be good to go. Thank you
Thanks
for
for
watching.
joining us, guys. Yeah,
Subscribe and
appreciate
all
it.
that stuff. It really does cool. If it's cool, you subscribe. I hit 2,200 today,
Yeah.
which is kind of neat.
Oh, that's great, Joe.
And unlike most
Congratulations on
times
that.
when I do a show, I usually lose 3 or 4. So I got 2,200 and I kept them. So this is good. This is
So you
good.
kept them.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
nobody quit today, so that's cool.
Not
So
yet.
thank you very much.
You still got time.
I got time. We'll see
yeah.
tomorrow morning what it is. But yeah.
Right.
But thanks everybody.
Exactly.
Subscribe, share it out with your friends and all that, and come back next Monday. All right.
Yep. Thanks a lot, guys.
Take it easy.
Appreciate you
Bye-bye.
coming. Bye bye.